Hello and welcome back to the mat. My name is Madeline and today I'm going to be guiding you through a 30-minute Pilates flow. This class is going to be full body and we're going to be using two sets of props. I've got a medium-sized Pilates ball and I've got a set of handheld weights. I'm using 2 pounds today. I would recommend staying with something light, between 1 and 5 pounds, but ultimately it's totally up to you. For this class, we're going to be doing core, glutes, arms, so it's really a full body practice. If you're new to Pilates, please feel free to modify, use or don't use props wherever it feels best for you. And let's have some fun. So meet me on the mat whenever you're ready and let's get into it. All right, we are going to begin with a core sequence to get ourselves warmed up. We'll start with the core and then we'll use the ball to move around a little bit for this full body flow. So when you're ready, take your ball. We're gonna come onto your bum. Feet are planted firmly on the mat, knees are straight up to the sky. We're gonna take that ball in the center of our back around where your bra strap would be if you're wearing one. So just find that spot in the middle of your back. Let's open up the arms and lay all the way back. Let your head fall down to the mat. Just take a deep breath here, feeling your chest open and filling yourself all the way up with a deep breath. Let's take a few more here. Deep breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. One more here. Make it nice and deep, the biggest breath you've had all day. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Let's take the hands behind the head. I want you to engage through your core and lift up. So we're looking to the tops of the knees. We're going to start with a full range crunch. So we're going to lean all the way back, inhale, and as you exhale, lift and contract through your core. So feel your ribs knitting together and through center. We go all the way back and all the way up. So just starting to warm up through the core here. We're going to be here for a few minutes, working through a number of poses in this core block. So let's take 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, using your breath for 2. We're going to hold it up on this next one. Exhale as you come all the way up. Maybe lift 1 more inch and give me a little pulse right here. 1 inch up and 1 inch down. So really think about that center line and drawing everything in through center. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Let's hold it here, hold that lift. Now let's get the legs into it. So we're going to draw the right knee into your chest and then tap it down as you lower back. Draw that knee in on the lift, tap the toe as you lower back. We lift and lower, lift and lower. Nice. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it there, hold that knee up as your chest lifts. Now as you inhale, we're going to extend the leg long. Option here to extend the leg as you lower back and then draw the knee into the chest. Extend the leg and pull it back in. So if this is too much, just stick with what we just did, tapping the toe to the mat. We extend and draw in. Nice. For 5, 4, 3, 2, we're going to hold that knee in through center, hold the lift of the chest. Last move here, we're going to twist so that elbow, opposite elbow reaches towards your knee, getting into the obliques and come back through center. So we hold the knee at 90 and just twist the chest and release. Twist through the chest and release. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release everything, lay all the way back. Maybe take those arms wide out to the side like we did to start. Taking a nice deep breath in here. We're going to re-engage and do that sequence on the other side. So hands are going to come behind your head. We're going to lift up off of the ball, looking to the tops of the knees and start with that top range pulse. Pulsing right here, up 1 inch and down 1 inch. Let's go for 8, for 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, For 2, we get that knee into it. Lift and take the opposite knee into your chest. Tap the toe as you lower back. We lift the knee and tap. Lift and tap. Nice. Perfect. So we're looking towards the tops of the knees, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2. We have that option to add on this next one. As your chest goes back, option for that leg to go long and then pull into the chest. Leg extends and draw in. We have 8. If this is too much, you go back to that toe tap for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to hold that knee in through center, keep that 90-degree bend. Now we take opposite elbow to knee, twist and pull back. We twist and pull back. So the goal here is to keep that knee super steady and just twist through the chest, working into the obliques. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it all back. Take a breath. Maybe taking those arms wide once more. Expanding through the chest and releasing. So we're gonna prop ourselves up onto our forearms and grab that ball out from behind your back. We're gonna place the ball in between your ankles and lay all the way back down. So to start, hands can come beside your hips, pressing into the mat. We're gonna lift the knees up into tabletop, so we're holding that ball in between your ankles. From here, we're gonna press the low back into the mat, so think about tucking through the tailbone. We're gonna hold that ball in between the ankles and slowly, with control, lower the toes to tap the mat and lift them back up. Lower to a tap and lift. So we're keeping that 90-degree bend in the knees and we're hinging from the hips. So keep that structure of the leg, that 90-degree bend, and a nice squeeze on the ball. So if you're noticing that your low back is lifting up off the mat, really try to anchor it back down by tucking through your tailbone. Let's go for 3, for 2. We're gonna hold the knees back up over the hips. Now take your hands behind your head and your elbows wide. Let's take a crunch through center here. We lift up through the chest and lower back down. We lift and lower. So keeping those legs nice and steady, they're not moving at all. Let's go for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold the chest up. Now we tap the knees together and release. Just a tap of the knees and release. So this is gonna get nice and deep into our low belly. Again, I want that low back pressing into the mat as we tap the knees for 8, 7. It's a very small movement. Chest stays lifted for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now option here to keep the chest lifted or lower it back down. We're extending the legs straight up to that high diagonal and then pulling them back in through 90. So extending them about where the ceiling and the wall meets. Very high diagonal here. Just extend and bend for 6, 5, 4, 3. If you need to lower your chest, you do what you need to do. Last one, we're gonna hold the legs long here and just squeeze that ball. Little squeezes, bringing the legs together, trying to change the shape of that ball for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Hug the knees into the chest and grab that ball. Just give yourself a little squeeze, maybe rocking side to side. All right, let's come onto our side. So roll onto one side, prop yourself up onto your forearm and place that ball between your knees. So from here, our knees are gonna be a 45-degree angle away from our hips. we're pulling away from the mat, so lifting up through your side, staying lifted out of that shoulder and keeping our chest nice and open. You can take that top arm up. We're coming into a modified side plank. So you're gonna press into your forearm and you're gonna press into your knee and you're gonna lift out of the hips, really pulling out through that side, pressing that top hip forward just a little bit. We're gonna go for a full range tap and lift of the hips. So we lower and we lift, lower and lift. Nice. So really squeezing through that side as you lift and lift. Nice. For 8, 7, for 6, 5, in 4, we're gonna come up to a pulse. In 2, let's hold it up right here, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Little movement of the hips for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up. Now we squeeze that ball. So bring that top knee down towards your bottom knee and try to change the shape of that ball. Nice. Let's go for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3. Can you hold it up? We have one last move. We're gonna thread that top arm underneath. Try to square your shoulders with the mat and open back up through your chest. We twist and open, twist and open. Nice. So really working into the obliques in this sequence here. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, we're coming down after this next one, and lower down through your hips. Very nice. So now come all the way down onto your side and extend that bottom arm long, so it should be straight out from your shoulder. That ball stays between our knees. We take our other hand behind our head and twist your chest like you're trying to look at your top hip. We're just gonna take a crunch here. We lift and we lower. So that arm that is long is there for stability, and it also will help to give us a little bit of a lift. So here we're really working into that top oblique as we crunch and lower. Nice. Let's go for 8, for 7, for 6. In 5, we're gonna go for a pulse. In 3, in 2, let's hold it up right here, extend that top arm long and give me a little pulse and pulse. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, we're gonna come all the way up. You can take that ball out from between your thighs. So option here, I'm gonna give you this option to place your hand on the ball. If you have any wrist pain, I would not advise doing this. I would just put your hand right on the mat. So whatever feels best for you. This is gonna create a little bit more instability, force us to use our obliques a little bit more. I want your bottom knee under your hip and that top leg is long. So our weight is on that ball, but it's nice and light. You'll notice that this creates a lot of instability on that wrist. So you're really gonna have to try to pull up through your core. And our core is nice and warm now, so that should feel nice. So extend that arm nice and long over your shoulder. Take a big stretch here. We're gonna start with a straight leg tap and lift. So lift that top arm up over your shoulder. We're gonna lift the leg up towards your hip and bring your hand down to your thigh. As your leg goes down, your arm lifts. We tap and lift. Tap, nice. All right, so we're bracing through the core. And now we're gonna start to get into our glutes. So we're gonna work one side at a time. Lift that leg and lower. Nice. Let's go for 8, 7. You should feel this in the side of your glute, but also in that top side oblique. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna take a little pulse, hold that leg up and give it a little pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. We're changing poses in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Come up, take that ball, We're gonna place it behind the top knee. So you wanna squeeze the ball a little bit and just get it in behind that top knee. So you're squeezing your calf to the back of your leg. All right, so now our hand is on the mat. We're gonna do a similar sort of thing. We're gonna lift that arm up over your shoulder, lower that knee, and as you lift the knee, take your hand and try to tap the ball. So we lower and lift, lower and lift. Again, working into that side oblique as well as the glute. Nice big lift and lower. Nice. This is gonna start to burn. If it isn't already, we've got 2 more moves in this sequence, and then we're gonna shift into tabletop. So let's go for 6, for 5, for 4, keeping your shoulders as relaxed as you can, for 2, for 1, hold the leg in line with your hip. Now we're going to send the leg back as your arm goes forward, creating that opposing pull of the core. Then we're gonna send the arm back as your knee pulls to the front. So arm goes forward, leg goes back, leg comes forward, arm goes back. We switch and switch, pull and reach. Nice. Beautiful. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. We're gonna finish it out with circles. Bring that leg back in line with your hip. You can take that arm up over your shoulder and do little circles to the back, just for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. We're gonna reverse it for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Now just flip over into tabletop. You've got that ball still behind your knee. If you need to readjust it, just tuck it back in there. So we're in a tabletop position. Option here to come down onto your forearms. That's what I'm gonna do. I feel like this gets a little bit deeper into the top of the glute and really helps us get the lift. So you're gonna flex through the foot that has the ball. You're gonna press it through your shoulders and make sure you're engaging through your low abs. So you're gonna press that heel up towards the ceiling, really finding that lift. You should feel this at the very top of your glute. We're gonna go full range, lower and lift with a flexed foot. We lower and lift. So we are obviously targeting the glutes here, but I really want you to remain mindful of your core. And as much as possible, let's release any tension in the face and in the shoulders. We're going full range here. Nice. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna hold that leg up and give a little pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down, just pressing that heel to the ceiling. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's point the toe. We go back full range, flush it out, pointing through that toe, really squeezing the ball. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold it up. This time we're gonna squeeze the heel towards the bum, trying to change the shape of that ball. So this is like a little hamstring curl. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that knee down. We're almost done here. We're gonna take weight into the left forearm if you are following along with me, and take your fingertips, your right fingertips on the mat. So your arm closest to the ball is supporting you, because we're gonna open up through the hip and open up through the chest as you lift that knee to the side. So we close the knee and open, close and open. Nice. So by propping ourselves up on our fingertips like this, we're just creating a little bit of a bigger range of motion and allowing ourselves to get a bit deeper into that side glute. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, 2. Let's hold it up. We have a pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. So we're following the similar sort of sequence that we just did at the back. Just a little pulse here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. Let's go back full range, close and open, close and open. Again, nice and tight and through the core. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold it up. This time we pulse heel towards the bum, changing the shape of the ball. This is our last move of the glute sequence. Let's go for 5. For 4, we're moving into arms next. In 3, in 2, and 1. Close it up. Nice. Take that ball out from behind that leg. You can come up onto your knees, and option to just place the ball in between your inner thighs. So grab onto your hand weights. If you do have the ball in between your inner thighs, the reason that it's here is that we can keep some low ab engagement here. So we're going to squeeze through the inner thighs, tuck the tailbone, and press your pelvis forward just a little bit, and just try to hold it there. Keep your core nice and tight. So let's pull the weights up towards the shoulders for a bicep curl and go all the way down. Nice. So coming back to your breath, we're going to do a little arm sequence here, and then we're going to repeat that oblique and glute sequence on the other side, and then you're done. So we curl and lower, curl and lower. Nice, keeping those shoulders pulled back and down away from your ears. Let's go for 6, for 5, for 4, 3, we're going into serve the platter. Holding those arms at 90, we reach them forward and pull them back. Keeping your elbows tucked nice and tight into your sides. We reach and pull. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let's hold the arms long, and now we open them out to the side. Notice I have a little micro bend in my elbows, and then pull them back in through center. We open and close. So those arms do not go past your shoulders. It's nice and controlled. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, we're going into a serve the platter out to the side. Hold those arms wide. We close the elbows in, tighten them up to your waist, and then reach. We close and reach. Nice. Little pull and reach, pull and reach. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we're gonna go for an overhead straight arm reach. So keep those arms out to the side. Now we reach up overhead like you're clapping and close it back. Reach and pull back. Reach. Nice. For 6, 5, notice I have a little micro bend in my elbows as those arms come back out to the shoulders. Nice. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, hold those weights out by your shoulders and give me a little circle to the back. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, we reverse the circle. Little circles. We have one last move. We're going for a bottom range straight arm lift in 3, in 2. Hold those weights out to the side. We lower the weights to the hips and lift them up. Lower and lift. So palms stay facing away from your body. This is our last move here. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. We're moving into obliques. So set those weights off to the side and come on to whatever side it was that you didn't do before. So that weight or that ball is staying in between your inner thighs. We're coming all the way down and extending that bottom arm long. So take your hand behind your head. We're going to reverse the sequence. We're looking towards that top hip, hand behind the head, elbow wide. We start with a full range crunch. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Nice. All the way up and all the way down. So finding as much lift as you can, really pulling up through that top side oblique. Let's go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, let's hold it up and we're gonna pulse. Extend that top arm long, little pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way back down, take a breath. You're gonna come up onto your forearm. Ball stays between your inner thighs. Option to take that top arm up over your shoulder, and we're gonna start with that modified side plank. So lifting out of the hips, pulling up through that side waist and a little push of that top hip forward. So we just lower and lift, lower and lift. Staying lifted out of your shoulder, really pressing away from the mat with that forearm. And if you notice any tension in your neck, the option is always to look down at that supporting arm. That should release any tension that you're feeling. Let's go for 5. For 4, we pulse in 3. In 2, let's hold the hips up, little pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, we're squeezing that ball right here. Lift the hips, squeeze that ball. Top knee comes down to meet the bottom. Little squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we have that twist. Hold the hips up if you can. Twist that top arm, thread it underneath, trying to square off your shoulders, and open all the way up. Thread that arm underneath and open. For 8, 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one right here, and lower all the way down. Beautiful. All right, that ball comes into your hand. We're gonna press ourselves up. Place your hand onto the ball. That supporting knee comes under your hip and that top leg goes long. Let's start with a stretch. Reach that top arm up overhead. If you did not use the ball on the other side, you can just keep your hand on the mat for now. So we're gonna start with that straight leg lift. Bring your arm up over your shoulder. Lift that leg to hip height and bring the hand down to meet the thigh. We lower the leg as we lift the arm and lift. Nice, lift. Beautiful. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, really pulling through that core. In 2, we have this pulse right here, little pulse, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Coming all the way up, take that ball and place it behind your top knee. So pull that ball behind your knee. Your bottom arm is supporting you. You take your top arm above your shoulder. That leg is going to lower and lift. So as we lift the knee, the hand comes down to touch the ball. And as you lower the knee, the hand comes up over the shoulder. Nice. We lift and lower, lift and lower. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we're gonna hold that leg in line with your hip. We're gonna reach the arm forward as the knee goes back and then switch, switch, and switch. Nice. So finding that opposing movement, really using the core. We switch and switch. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, for 3, 2, we have those circles to finish this sequence. Pull that leg back in through center, lift your arm all the way up and take a few circles to the back. So trying to draw a circle on that side wall with your knee. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, we're gonna reverse. And then we come into our tabletop position in 3, in 2, and 1. Flip yourself over, keep that ball behind your knee. Option here to come down onto your forearms, which is what I'm gonna do. Flex through that foot that has the ball. We're gonna start with that full range press, pressing that heel up to the ceiling and lowering down. We press and lower, press and lower. So really bracing through that low belly, pressing out through the shoulders, and keeping your hands nice and relaxed. So maybe they're in a prayer position or pressing into the mat. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. We hold it up and pulse right here, 1 inch up and 1 inch down, flexing through that heel. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going back to full range. Point through that toe, flush it out. All the way down and all the way up. Nice. For 8, 7, 6, 5. Notice if your ribs have started to open up. For 3, for 2, we have that squeeze of the ball. Bring your heel towards your bum. Little hamstring curl. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, close that knee up. We prop ourselves up onto our left fingertips, the arm closest to that ball, and we open the knee wide and close. Open the knee and close. Nice. Last move here of that sequence. You're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's hold the knee up, little pulse. 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Nice. For 5, 4, 3, 2. We go back full range. Close it up and lift. Close and lift. Nice and tight through the core. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that knee up. We finish right here. Squeeze that heel towards your bum. Change the shape of the ball. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Close that knee up. You can take the ball out and sink your hips back, maybe holding the ball in your hands and just sinking your bum all the way back towards your heels. Beautiful work. Let's take a little bit of a stretch right here. So take your hands into a prayer position, resting on the ball. We're gonna extend the arms out long and let your bum go high for a puppy dog pose here. The ball is totally optional, but it will give you a nice stretch through your chest. So just play around with it here, rolling yourself all the way out on to the ball. Let's just take one more breath here. And then you can set the ball off to the side. We don't need it anymore. We're gonna come into a tabletop position. Let's take a few cat-cows here. Sink the belly low, draw the shoulders back, lift the gaze, and as you exhale, round. Let's take 2 more. Inhale as you come through center, lift the shoulders back. Exhale, round. Last one here. And round. We'll meet in a neutral spine, so flat back. Tent your fingertips and step your right foot in between your hands. We're gonna lift the arms all the way up and shift the hips forward. So really sinking into that left hip flexor. Maybe grabbing into your left wrist and pulling it up and over, finding some space in that left side. We're here for 3, for 2, and come back through center. Let's tent the fingertips to the mat. Shift your hips all of the way back and just play around with flexing and pointing through that front foot. So finding that stretch in the back of your leg into the hamstring. Just finding a little bit of movement here to really open up the back of that leg. Let's go for 3. For 2, we're gonna shift the weight forward on this next one. Tuck the back toe and lift that knee. Place your weight into your left hand and open up your chest to the right, so towards that bent knee. And just take a few circles with your arm, really opening up through your chest. Let's go for 3. For 2, we're gonna plant that hand, step your foot all the way back into high plank. Hold here for a breath, and then send your hips all of the way back, really pressing your heels down to the mat. Again, feeling that opening through the backs of the legs. Let's take a few breaths here just to pedal out through the heels. Finding some space, relaxing through the shoulders. And on your next exhale, we're gonna pull back forward through plank and lower to the knees. You're gonna do that stretch on the other side. So tent the fingers, step your left foot forward, lift your arms all the way up and sink your hips down, finding an opening in that right hip flexor. Maybe grabbing onto your right wrist, pulling up and over, finding that space and that length. For 3, for 2, we're gonna come back through center, tent the fingertips back to the mat, and shift your hips all of the way back, finding a little bend and a little straighten through that foot. Really whatever feels best for you to open up through the back of that leg and find some length in your hamstring. For 3, for 2, we're gonna shift the hips forward. We're gonna tuck the back toe and lift that knee. Weight comes into your right hand. We open up the chest towards that supporting knee and take a few big circles with your arm. For 3, for 2, plant that hand back down to the mat, step your left foot back, and send your hips high for downward dog. One more breath here to pedal out through the heels. Now when you're ready, we're gonna pull back forward, come onto the knees, and swing your legs around. So finding a comfortable seated position, let's take a final breath here to close out our practice. Amazing work. That was a challenging workout. We worked our core, we worked our glutes, we worked our arms. So I hope you're leaving this class feeling amazing. Let's take a deep breath in, reach the arms all of the way up, take your hands through heart center and lock in all that good energy you just created. Amazing work. Please let me know what you thought of that class. Leave me a comment, reach out to me on Instagram, and I hope to see you back on the mat soon. Have a great rest of your day.